Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be making a part 2 or part 3. Depends how long my videos are, because this is a very important message. So I want to get into this because they're talking about going into internet censorship right now. This is from a DHS insider. It's about to get very ugly. Serious dangerous times ahead. Deadly times. War and censorship under the control of authority and under the pretext of national security. So this is what it says. Washington, D.C., something quite unexpected happened just hours ago in the dark of night during a 2-day layover in Washington, D.C. My son and I are scheduled to take part in a sprint outside of North California this weekend, so we complained. Our travels to include a side trip to D.C. for a business meeting. We had privacy. It was during this layover that something seemingly ripped from the pages of a spy novel took place. Okay, took place. Okay, yeah, right here. Well, I was in the middle of a perfectly good and well-needed sleep in the very early hours of this morning. I received a message. I cannot disclose how I received this message, at least not now. The discerning reader will understand why, which, by the way, would make a very interesting story alone. The message was extremely clear in pieces. I was to meet my high-level DHS insider at a very specific location in Washington, D.C. at a time when most normal people, except third strike workers, are still asleep. And I also and I was to come alone and make certain that I was not being followed, and I was to leave any cell phone or electronic devices behind. Seriously, I thought, as I was still trying to make sense of it all, is all this really necessary? Is this really happening? I considered walking my son to Kispeni, but open to follow the instructions to the letters. Besides, I thought he is not the most affable middle of the night person. I left at a hesitating, written but detailed note in my hotel room. Okay. In my hotel room before my departure in the evening event, something happened. I looked at the digital clock on my rental car. My personal car would never survive our long-distance trip. It was 3:20 a.m. Okay, 3:20 a.m. Okay, the meeting. Okay, the meeting. I'm probably going to have to do a part 2 video, ladies and gentlemen. But you guys need to get this, because this is what's happening. This has been part of the Rockefeller and the New World Order's program. They want to get rid of the internet. They want to censorship it. You name it. So you guys need to hear this and pass these messages on. Okay, the meeting. I felt like I was part of a spy move. Okay, I felt like I was part of a spy movie set in our nation's capital, and chill rose up my spine as I waited in the dark of a chilly, misty, and foggy pure dawn morning. I was to meet with my DHS insider source at a time when most of the nation is asleep, at a place I could swear was featured in the movie All the President's Man. No one and I Man, no one knows. I'm here. I thought I could see one of the most recognizable national landmarks in the distance. My source appeared out of nowhere, or so it seemed, and handed me a cup of coffee with an order that I looked like I needed it. So tell me, I asked impatiently, why do we have to meet at this time, at this location, and under such specific circumstances? Because this might be our last meeting, he said. He stated. Maybe, maybe if maybe it was the lack of sleep, the time, the place, or the chill of the rain that caused my sense of forbidding explain. I asked in almost demanding tone, so he did without mentioning words. Okay, the details. Now we're going into the details. Okay, the details. If anyone thinks that if anyone thinks that what's going on right now with all of this surveillance of American citizens is to fight some sort of foreign enemy, they're delusional. If people think that this schedule can get any worse, it will. Hour by hour, day by day, this has the ability to bring down our national leadership, the administration, and other senator elected people within the NSA, the Department of Justice, and others. They know who they are. Need to come forth with the documentary of policy and practice in their possession, disclose what they know, fight what's going on, and just do their job. I have never seen anything like this ever. The, the present administration is going after layers, media, sources, anyone and everyone who is even suspected of betrayal. That's what they call it, betrayal. Can you believe the size of their catastrophes? This administration considers anyone telling the truth about the Benghazi, the IRS, hell, you name the asset. Betrayal, he said. We know all this already, he stated. He looked at me, giving me a look like I've never seen, and actually pushed his finger into my chest. You don't know, Jack, he said. This is bigger than you can imagine, bigger than anyone can imagine. This administration is collecting names of sources. Whiteside, is that what? W-H-I, yeah, W-H-I-S, whitest with, blow, is that browsers, yeah, blower, I don't know, B-L-O-W-E-R-S, and their families' names of media sources, and everybody they talk to and have talked to, and they already have a huge list. If you're not working for MSNBC or CNN, you're probably on that list. If you are a website owner and a brisk readership and a convinced bent, you're on that list. It is a political, distant list, not the enemy's threat list, he stated. Okay. What what's that exactly mean, being on the list? That is, I asked, trying to make sense of it. Okay, trying to make sense of it. To make sense of it. It means that there will be censorship under the control of authority, of of anyone in the U.S. who is attempting to expose what's going on in our name. It's about controlling any demanding information from reaching its damage control to the extreme. It's about the upcoming censorship of the internet in the name of national security. The plans are already in place. These latest reports about spying eyes have turned this administration and others connected to it into something very, very dangerous. They feel concerned and threatened, and I'm hearing about some plans they have to shut down the flow of information. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, knowledge is power. Now, they want to take away everything off the internet because that's where we get all our information from. Because there's lots of people coming out that are coming out of the government that are whistleblowers because they can't take it anymore, because these people have a conscience and they just cannot believe what they're doing to humanity. So people are coming out and they're exposing this, they're writing articles on it, you name it. So this is why they want to get rid of the net. They want absolute control over everything. This is the New World Order's agenda plan. This is part of their agenda. So there's going to be a part 2 after this. You guys need to come back and listen to this. There's going to be a part 2 because it's almost finished. But I'm not done this article yet. I want you guys to get it all. Flow of information that is implanting them of wrongdoing. Time is short, he stated. How are they going to do this? How is it even possible, I asked. First, they intended to use the Justice Department of silent journalists, like in the Rosen, is that Rosen? R-O-S-E-N? Rosen case. But they won't stop there. They will use a host of national security, the politics laws, letters, however, to take out the biggest threat, he stated. Next, they will use some sort of excuse, an external threat, and I believe it will be commitment of the economic collapse and a Mideast war that will begin in Syria to threaten the information that is acceptable on the internet. And you know what, people will believe it. Based on what I've seen, most of which should not have been, the DHS is ordering effects with other federal agents to begin to threaten American citizens with entering for non-complaints. You know the old talk of control-coded lists. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I want to start part 2 after, because there's about 2 minutes and something left. So may you stay tuned, because I want to say something after all this, because this is exactly what they planned. This is exactly what they want. Total control. This is the New World Order. So even one of the Rockefellers was talking about they have to end the they want to end the internet. They want to have absolute control over everything. So I want you guys to get this. This guy was meeting with these people. Like see, people have a conscience. This guy actually called this guy had a meeting at 3:30 in the morning? No, that's when he was driving in his car to go meet the guy. And this is all the information that the guy told him. You see, he told him not to bring a cell phone with him because everything is tracked and monitored. And they can listen on, even if the cell phone's off. It's a microphone to their ear. They'll hear everything. So this is what's happening, people. They're getting ready for a global takeover, a global control. So I want to start part 2, and I'm going to see if I can. I'm going to see if I can only do part 2. If I have to do part 3, I'm going to do part 3. So, ladies and gentlemen, may you share these videos. This is what's happening. I hope it doesn't happen quite yet, because, you know, well, this is what's going to happen, because it's going to happen. They're taking over the internet. This is what's going to happen. I'm just hoping that it doesn't happen just quite soon. So this is all I got to say. So may you guys stay tuned. Part 2 is coming up, and this is all I got to say, and God bless you.